I hate gift giving and receiving.
Receiving gifts is so weird. What do you say? Thank you?
This is Coffee Convos with Kail Lowry and Lindsie Chrisley.
I really want you to be in your feels, Kail.
That does not interest me whatsoever.
I feel very attacked by you.
A spirited discussion about motherhood, friendship, family, and life in the public eye.
I'm just not with the fakery anymore.
There's a fakery bakery around here.
Here's Kail and Lindsie.
This episode of Coffee Convos podcast is brought to you by Lomi by Pila. Visit lomi.com/coffeeconvos. Hello, Lindsie.
Can you speak up?
Not like the TikTok. Speak up.
Speak up.
I am very low energy today. I'm not okay. I didn't sleep last night. I'm not well today.
What were you doing when you weren't sleeping?
I don't know. I just was getting up. I got a snack. I went to the bathroom. I sat in the bed. Like, I just could not sleep. And then this morning, I wake up. So I had got Isaac. Isaac, he is through and through a preteen. And so he doesn't have electronics right now.
He's on our nerves.
Yes. He has no PlayStation, no phone, no iPad. We are heavily focused on his grades right now and just good hygiene, taking care of what he needs to take care of. Do what you have to do so you can do what you want to do, kind of thing. So that being said, I got him an alarm clock, and stupid me forgot about the snooze option. And so I thought this was going to be the end all be all of late mornings. And I go up there at 7:30. He's the only one that came home last night because the rest of the kids were with their dads for trick-or-treating. And you guys know I don't do holidays. 7:30. He has to be to school at 8:10, Lindsie.
Yeah, he's not with the shit. Sorry. That's me. If you hear me taking a little sip of something, I'm a hypocrite. I lied a couple times in the past week. I'm back on the Coke train. For those of you who care,
Me too.
I went to Chick-fil-A. I also went after 10:30, and it's always like a good time. You know this feeling that I'm about to describe. You know you're like past the breakfast, but you hope they like still have some left, and you're sitting in the drive-thru and there's like one car before you and you're like, bitch, I will rear end you if you get the last biscuit. Like, don't you know what I'm talking about?
No, that's never happened to me.
Yeah,
just that one time where I ordered it off the app and then they said I had it and then I got there and then they didn't. That one time.
Okay, no. Like, every person knows about this. If you get in the line late and it's just like a couple minutes past and you're like, I know that y'all have hash browns up in there. Like, I know you do. But if this car in front of me gets it and you tell me we're on lunch, I'm specifically going to ask if they got breakfast in front of me. And if they did, it's going to be a little tap, tap, taparoo. Not a fan. But yeah, I was kind of running a little bit late this morning too. So like, I kind of feel for Isaac a little bit. I'm not upset with him. Although as a mom, the worst thing in the world in the morning is knowing that you need to be somewhere at a specific time and your kid acts like they have no plans, like they have nowhere to be. And also
that's Isaac every day.
Yeah, like you're a psychopath because you remind them of the plans that they know about.
He's me. Isaac is me as a preteen. Like, everything about him is me. And I'm concerned.
How do you talk to a preteen and like make them understand something that seems so logical?
You can't. No, and that's where I'm at. And I told him in the car on the way to school this morning, I said, when I was pregnant with you, I said, everyone told me how hard it would be to have a baby. I said, but nobody ever told me how hard it would be when you're a teenager. And he's literally 2 months away from being 13. And he looked at me and he laughed and he said, would you have had me? I said, of course I would have had you. He said, would you have had all of us? And I said, I don't know, because I don't know how this is going to go with the rest of them. You can't explain, they are so, like, they have a mind of their own and you just can't explain things to them. So, maybe I'm going to hell for what I did last night. Maybe I'm not, but
Tell us what you did and we'll decide if you're going to burn hell wide open.
Hell. Yeah, I am.
What was it? Oh, wait, I might know what it was. Are you going to out yourself? Does he listen to Coffee Convos?
No, he doesn't listen to Coffee Convos. So
Is it about your scam?
I scammed him, and I had someone call my phone and pretend to be the school and basically say, get your shit together. Isaac will have to attend summer school.
First of all, I'm going to need this said person to come off of mute right now, and I need to hear her school voice.
Because I was like, he knows her voice. I was like, you have to
change
use
it.
Yeah, I was like, you have to use your customer service voice because he's going to know it's you.
Go ahead, Kristen.
Tell me how Lindsie called me immediately after I had to do that. And she was like, what are you doing? And I was like, well, I just scammed the shit out of Isaac.
She straight up did. I was like, wait, what did Isaac do? Okay, give us the spiel. Like, what did it sound like?
It was like, wait, Kail, did I say Miss Lowry?
I don't remember.
I was like,
oh yeah, you were like Miss Lowry, and I was like, this is she, and I like put that part on speakerphone, and then I put everything up on speakerphone all the way up until she was like, based on his English grades right now, because Isaac is so smart beyond his, like, you guys don't understand. Like, I'm not saying this because it's my son. Like, Isaac is a fucking genius. Like, it's really weird to say that because, like, he can do really large numbers in his head and things like that. But when it comes to English, it's boring to him, so he doesn't want to do it. So it's really just that one class. So I put it on speakerphone all the way up until, and I don't even know, does fucking summer school cost money? I don't know.
I don't think it does. We had rehearsed like the briefest bit. Kail's like, hey, I need you to do this. I said, okay, cool, great, awesome. She texted me. I jump on the phone. This girl decides, oh, okay, I'm going to go off script here and we're just going to like just wing it. And she's like, okay, so what exactly does summer school mean? And I'm like, well, if he fails that, then he's going to have to get held back a grade. And
which is true.
Like, so he'll have to do summer school. So he'll have to do 7th grade over again. I said, yes, he'll have to repeat 7th grade. So then she's like, well, how much does this cost? And I'm like, again, off script. I'm like, I said $10,000 or $20,000.
Wait, okay. First of all, I need you to get in scammer mode, and I need you to like pretend like we're Isaac right now.
I changed her number in my phone, and I had to remove her picture, and I put it to his school.
So
Kristen,
I was like, Miss Lowry, and she was like, "This is she." I said, "I'm just calling to discuss with you Isaac's grades. They're not looking so good right now."
You know what I thought of when Kail was like, he can do big numbers in his head, and Matilda, she can do big numbers in her head.
No, literally Isaac is Matilda in male form.
I literally cannot, like, I'm not looking forward to that age, to be honest. Jackson has started getting like very mischievous, and I don't know if that's like the phase that they go through before they start going through this phase that you're at.
Literally, yes. You're describing what Isaac went through. He went through like a mischievous, like, and I sent him up to the shower after the phone call, and I was like, go shower, do your personal hygiene things, put your pajamas on. I said, because we're going to sit here all night until all your English work is done. And I checked while he was in the shower, I checked his browsing history. I checked everything because I was just like, this is a Chromebook at school. Like, I know what the rules are. Like, it's for academics only. Yeah. That it's a weird age. It's a very weird age.
Yeah. See, I don't really understand. This might be specifically boys, but like maybe some girls do this too. Boys think their moms are fucking idiots, and they think that we don't know anything. And it's like, Jackson, the thing that you snuck upstairs that you weren't supposed to have upstairs, that you left a trail like on the way there, like that's how I specifically knew what you were doing. Like, he will literally look me in the face and be like, how did you know?
Literally, Isaac does the same thing. And I'm like, do you think I'm dumb?
I was not born yesterday, and I am dumb, but I am not that dumb.
And Isaac is a good kid. So anyone listening to this, don't think that I'm like, I don't know what to, like, I'm at a loss. I did hire a tutor, not last week because he was with his dad, but the week before that because I had football, so I couldn't be in 2 places at once. So I did hire a tutor. Literally one day with the tutor for English, the next day he got a B on his quiz. So he has all the potential. He just, it doesn't interest him, so he doesn't care about it.
Sounds like you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Honestly. In a completely unrelated note, I forgot to ask you about this, and I have an appointment for this tomorrow. How do you like your lash lift and tint?
No.
What?
No, Lindsay, $130 down the fucking drain.
Wait, why didn't you send me a picture of it?
Because there's no difference. I'll send you a picture.
I feel like there's a huge difference. Maybe it was just like done wrong.
No, the girl was so sweet. She was so nice. And I really don't want to say where I got it done at, but she was like a senior level, I guess, esthetician. Are they estheticians?
Yeah, I think so.
Hold on. I have the
See,
picture.
I absolutely love it. I think that lash extensions, we've talked about this before, so I don't want to spend a ton of time on it, but I think that lash extensions are so time consuming, and I don't have 2 hours to go and do like these fill-ins and like all this shit. And also I like to rub my eyes and I like to clean my face like very good. And so lash extensions are just not for me. Lash lift and tint, I can tell a huge difference with mine, and they're so much darker. They're like wispy and so cute. And I also do my brows and just like do brow tint on the same day. And it's great. Like I love it.
I just sent it to you. It just didn't do anything for me.
See, I think that they do look different. I think it's just you were maybe expecting like more.
Yeah.
But like it's not going to make your lashes grow, Kail.
Yeah. I just think they look shorter. Like the lift part made them look. I do love the smell of the chemicals though. And I told her that. She was like,
Wait,
you're weird.
Are you one of those that likes the smell of like permanent and like markers and gasoline?
No, I don't like the smell of gasoline, but I do love the smell of like hair color, bleach, perm solution that they used on your lashes and your eyebrows. I didn't get my eyebrows done. But yeah, I love the smell of those chemicals. I also love the smell of a nail salon.
Oh my gosh. I love the smell of a nail salon too. And like whatever that acetone, is that what it's called?
Yeah, that soaks it when you soak off your nails.
Love the smell of it.
Yep, me too.
I heard one time, and I don't know where I heard this. Someone's probably going to tell me that they told me it. But I heard one time that pregnant women have like a craving for gasoline.
Like to eat it?
To like drink it. Because
that's what I meant. Sorry. No fucking way.
Do you think that's real?
I mean, I've seen My Strange Addiction, like people eating ashes and chalk and think soap. So yeah, I guess. But like, wouldn't that kill you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it would kill you. I'm not saying it's not going to kill you.
Oh my God. Like, what did the doctor, I wonder what the doctor, like, what do they do about that? Like, if you're like, go to your OB or your midwife and you're like, hey, I'm really craving gasoline. Like, is there a medicine for that?
I have no idea. Like, yeah, it's called go to bed.
It's called see a psychologist.
Yeah, like we are not well. I would love to hear people's like weird like pregnancy cravings and stuff, because I have heard some weird shit, like some real weird shit, like pickles with peanut butter on it and like just like weirdo stuff.
I don't believe people that have that, because I've been pregnant. I have 4 kids, but I've been pregnant more than 4 times, and I've never had like a weird unedible craving. And I've also never had like a craving that was like pickles and peanut. Like that's not, I don't know if I believe that.
I didn't have that either. Like I just wanted Quick Trip donuts and Jersey Mike's. Like I pretty much ate a sub from Jersey Mike's every single day. And yes, before anybody says you shouldn't eat sandwich meat, like cold sandwich meat when you're pregnant, I had them heated up. Also,
actually, that's funny that you brought that up, because I was just scrolling on TikTok yesterday and I saw somebody stitched. I follow any like medical or lawyers on TikTok. I follow them. I don't know why. So I'm scrolling and this OB was stitching or duetting, whatever it's called, this girl who was like, all the things I do during my pregnancy that I'm not supposed to. And one of them was, and he was like basically saying like yes or no to them. And one of them was lunch meat. And he was like, that's probably okay. Like, I think that that's just like, I don't know.
It's called like listeria or something. I'm probably saying it like way wrong, but it's supposedly some type of bacteria that like lives on cold cuts.
You guys know if you take action today, you'll have a healthier tomorrow with Everlywell. We have been ranting and raving about these at-home lab tests and vitamins and supplements for years now. And when you know better, you just do better. I actually sent Kristen a picture of all the supplements I take last night. I had them in my little pile and I sent them to her. And it just feels so good that I know that I'm doing something good for my body. And then I've also taken so many of these at-home lab tests, and it's just great because I can just take the results right to my doctor and I don't have to pay the marked up prices at the physician's office. I can just do them at home for a fraction of the cost and then take the result in.
Absolutely love it. You guys know that I love Everlywell. I love knowing information. I think this is so great. You can just do it in the comfort of your own home. And for those of you who have not heard us talk about it, Everlywell is digital healthcare designed for you. As Kail said, all at an affordable and transparent price. They have over 30 at-home lab tests, and you're going to be able to choose the test that makes the most sense for you to get the answers that you need. So they have women health tests. Kail and I have both done that one, and the food sensitivity test. And also they have high quality vitamins and supplements to support your overall health. So you can choose from a variety of different options. They have vitamin D3 and omega-3 fish oil. It's so simple. Over 1 million people, including us, have trusted Everlywell to support their health and wellness goals, and you guys should too. And for listeners of our show, Everlywell is offering a special discount of 20% off an at-home lab test at everlywell.com/convos. That's everlywell.com/convos for 20% off your next at-home lab test. everlywell.com/convos.
Well, I wish that I could say that here it feels like fall, but it still feels like summer. So thankful that my kids still have their Stitch Fixes from summertime. The weather just isn't falling right now. You know what I mean?
Honey, it is starting to fall here, and I am so excited about it.
If you guys have not already figured this out, you guys need Stitch Fix, because we've all been there when this new season hits us and we're not really prepared with the clothing and our kids need a little refresh. You might need a refresh for yourself or for your partner, and Stitch Fix is perfect. So they have super cute outfits curated by stylists that you can put on pause pretty much anytime. And if you don't love something that's in your fix, you can just put it in the prepaid envelope and send it back. And truly, if it wasn't for that, I don't even know if I would do it, because that just makes things so much more convenient.
I love that you're able to discover new styles. Like if you're adventurous, you can just discover new things that you might not know that you like, and also discover new brands. And you can think of Stitch Fix as kind of like your style partner. They're going to learn about your taste and then collaborate with you on looks that you love. And it's so easy. It's just a few questions. They're going to ask you like where you typically like to shop, what you like to wear, what price range you shop in. And then with your choices in mind and a wide range of sizes available from extra small to 3XL, they're going to find your perfect fit. They have you covered with over 1,000 brands and styles. And like Kail said, it's nice. You can try the pieces. And if you don't love something, you can send it back. And there is no subscription required. So you can just order a refresh as you need it, or you can set it and forget it with regular seasonal fixes. You're in control. Right now, Stitch Fix is offering our listeners $20 off their first fix at stitchfix.com/convos. That's stitchfix.com/convos for $20 off today. stitchfix.com/convos. I need to tell you something.
What?
So I was on the phone with my dad, and he tells me that he wants us to do this research. Since we like true crime so much, he wants us to do this research of this 40-year-old baby.
What?
And immediately
a 40-year-old baby?
Yeah. And immediately I'm like, hey, Todd, stop talking. He said it's a 40-year-old baby and it was in Texas. And I was like, okay, so we're talking about like Benjamin Button. And he's like, no, Lindsie, like that's not what it is. And I said, a 40-year-old baby, like if it still looks like a baby, it's like Benjamin Button. No, I think he just very much got distorted. So I look it up, and it's on this Texas like local news channel, and it says baby missing from Texas woods found alive and well 40 years later.
No, you're fucking lying. Send me the link.
This was in Austin. It says a baby girl who went missing 40 years ago after her parents were found dead in a wooded area in Texas was found alive and well, according to the release from the office of the Texas Attorney General.
What's the
baby
link?
Holly is now 42 years old. Her parents were victims of an apparent homicide in 1981 in Houston and couldn't be identified at the time of their death. They had been living in Louisville at the time. Holly was not found with her parents, the release said. So how they found her, in 2021, Identifiers International used genetic genealogy to identify the bodies of the couple, which hadn't been identified since they were found in January of 1981. They first sent the remains to a lab to extract DNA from the bones, explained the president and founder. And from that, they sent it to their lab to make genealogy data, essentially. Fitzpatrick said that the data came back in October 2021, and it took them just 10 days to solve the case. The top matches were like second cousins. So they started with those people, built their trees, and sort of looked for that missing piece. So then they contact the family, realized that Jane Doe must be his wife, Tina. And then all they had to do was build a family tree to see if it fit, which they already had. So it says that Fitzpatrick is also part of the Texas Attorney General's Cold Case and Missing Persons Advisory Committee. She said once they identified Dean and Tina, they let the Attorney General's office know so they could start tracking down Holly. The Lynn and Klaus families searched for answers after they last heard from the family in 1980, and Identifiers International identified Tina and Dean Klaus last year. Holly had been notified of her biological parents' identities and had been in contact with her extended family. They had contacted Holly, told her what happened, and she was actually quite happy and surprised. It was exciting to see her. She was happy to meet them for the first time. It said it was such a blessing to be reassured that she is all right and has had a good life. The whole family slept well. I just don't understand, like...
No, time out. Time out. First of all, I thought that you meant that this 40-year-old baby was still a baby. Like it was still in the woods. I did too. And not growing, and it just like thrived as a baby because that's
in the woods, right?
Basically like Mowgli from the fucking Jungle Book and Tarzan. Like you adapt to your surroundings.
I'm telling you.
Wait, so where did she? So I need you to explain this better for me. So her parents are murdered in the woods.
So I guess they were like found in the woods.
Where was she? Where was the baby?
I don't know. Like I was under the same impression. What you just described was literally what I thought when my dad told me about this story, because he had been like following it on the news or something, which I don't watch the news. So I didn't know anything about it. So he tells me about this. And I was under the impression that it literally was an adult person that was like a baby that like never grew, but like still lived for like 42 years in the woods. Like that's what was in my mind.
That's what okay. So then I Googled when you're talking and it says, who was raising baby Holly? 2 women who were members of the nomadic religious group Sister Susan belonged to dropped Holly off at a church in Arizona as an infant. Holly was adopted and the adoptive parents are not suspected of any wrongdoing.
But these headlines, whole point of me talking about this is like when you hear headlines like this and then you have a dad that tells you something in the way that mine does, like that's how rumors get started. I legitimately thought that this was what you were what you just described from Jungle Book.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So we're not that dumb then.
I'm going to post this article so you guys can continue to read it because it's like long and like a lot, but I couldn't even imagine.
I mean, thankfully she was adopted and like people found, but where did they find her? Like the parents were found in the woods. So where was the child when they found the child to bring her to a church?
I'm going to do some more research on this, try to create a timeline and then update you guys on this timeline next week. I I also saw something when I was scrolling on Instagram the other night, and I was like, okay, if this is not myself and Kail and Lowry, like, I don't know what it is. It says, currently working on a diary full of lies. I want my loved ones to read it after I die and be like, wait, what?
What? I can't.
Which led me to believe, which led me to think about being in this business and what we've said before about if you feel like there's like a narc around you or like somebody that's like telling your business, you tell like a couple of different stories.
Yeah, and see which one comes out.
Yeah, but like what I have learned most recently in my life, that it's not necessarily who you're telling your business to, it's who they're telling your business to.
Right. I guess that makes sense.
You know, so like you have to be careful of who you tell your business to and who they are associated with.
That's a really good point, actually, now that I think about it.
Because I have someone in my life that I am associated with that like the people that surround this person are like all up in my business and all up in my views and just like everywhere, places that they shouldn't be. And it really irks me. It's like, why are you so consumed in my business and like what is going on?
Because they don't have anything else to worry about.
It's just very annoying.
Yes.
So wait, where did you hear about that trick of like telling somebody one thing and
Kim
then
Kardashian.
one thing? Oh, she made it up?
I don't think she made it up, but I heard that she did that with the baby, with her daughter, with North. It was one of the kids. And she sent everybody a different picture. And that's how she knew who leaked the photo of North.
Stop. Oh my God. That would be so bad, but also like, just don't be a shady bitch.
Yeah, period. And I don't know if it ever came out like who it was. Kristen, do you know?
I don't think it came out who it was either.
But she knew who it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that she maybe just didn't out the person.
Okay.
No, if I sent out fake photos of my baby, is that what it was? Like not even really her?
I'm not sure. That I don't know.
Either way, I sent out photos of my baby and I'm Kim Kardashian, and someone leaks it, I'm telling on you.
Now I'm going to expose you. But I guess what does she get? What does she have to gain out of expose? Like, she's the real winner because she removed that person from her life.
This is true too. I think that as you get older, you learn to keep your circle close. Mm-hmm. But I am definitely a believer at this point in my life that you keep your enemies close.
It's like by choice or by accident?
No, like there are specific people that I know in my life that are probably an enemy or looking for my downfall.
Oh, 100%.
That I just
you
play those cards to my benefit.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that their intentions are not pure. And I just keep my shit moving, but I put them over in a little box and
you know how to deal with
who they
them.
are.
Yep. I feel the exact same way.
That's it's a very, dangerous thing. I think sometimes that in our situations, people think, oh, well, I can do this, that, and the third to this person because, everybody else does it to them on the internet too. And I'm like, no, that's like really not how it works though.
Yeah. I actually who was it? It might have been in TikTok again. I don't know. They were saying that they wish that they had friends and family that were as close and as good as Kylie Jenner's, because she had her son in February and they have yet to leak any type of pictures of him because she only posts his feet or his hands or something. And the girl was like just describing how, she really has like a good tight knit circle now. Because nobody's even tried to leak her photos of her son.
First of all, I don't know how you are that level of celebrity status. That many people know and no one's telling. Like, I also want to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm. But it's crazy that it didn't happen for Kim, but it happened for Kylie. And it hasn't happened for Chloe because Chloe hasn't announced. She posted her son, but she didn't post his name or anything, right?
No, but I did see a couple of things on TikTok of people going through like a list of names of like what it could be, what the baby could be named. And they were like, if she named him like Tristan Jr., everybody's going to raise mortal hell.
I don't think she did that.
Do you think she did?
I don't think she did because he already had a son and he wasn't a junior. And that would be really weird. That would be like if I named Creed
flex though.
Like if I named Creed Chris Jr. because that's our second son. Like that would just be weird.
Yeah, but it's Chloe's first son.
But I thought the firstborn son is supposed to be a junior.
Well, yeah, I think that that's true. But I'm saying like, you know, that's a boss move if she named him Junior after he had all these other kids. I don't even know how many kids he has at this point. At this point, he's like getting Nick Cannon status.
Prince.
Is that the only other one?
No, there's Prince and then the one with the other girl that was like a scandal, which was I think a baby boy, and then True, and then a baby boy. So four kids.
God. Just like figure it out. Like get your dick under control.
Okay, so I know that everyone that listens to Coffee Convos podcast has a phone full of pictures of their pets. I know I do. And if I'm not taking the pictures of our furry family members, my kids are on my phone. And we discovered Perky Prince, which is super, super cute. When our French bulldog passed away, unfortunately, this year, Isaac's one ask was to please have a framed photo of him. And Perky Prince really did like such a good job with the pictures of Gizmo.
They're definitely one of a kind, in my opinion. I got some of Georgia as well, like a Christmas ornament, a picture that goes by Jackson's bed, a t-shirt. I'm about to order this sweatshirt. They have so many cute things. Like I said, t-shirts, coffee mugs, frame prints, and more. And it really is extraordinary. Every step of your order is 100% handcrafted by their small team of 10 pet lovers, which I think is super, super cool. And they also believe that something as special as a custom portrait deserves unique one-on-one attention from real people. So from the photo review process to the art creation to hand printing every item, it's human hands that bring every product to life. And most importantly, your order will make a difference to dogs in need. You guys know that we love a good give back. And Perky Prince is proud to donate a portion of every purchase to their charity partners at Wags and Walks. And donations are used for food, shelter, medical care, and training for rescue pups. So you guys should definitely check them out and use our code COFFEE to save 10% off your order and join their community of 15,000 happy pet parents. Shop today for high quality made to order pieces that support small business and help dogs at www.perkyprince.com. Okay, well, before we move on from the diary, what would be in your diary of lies?
My diary of lies?
Yeah. Like what would you put in there?
What do you mean my diary of lies?
If you did a diary and you just filled it full of lies so that your loved ones would read it after you died.
Like true lies or lies that I made up?
No, like it wouldn't be a lie, Kail, if it was true. Just like shit that you're going to make up. That you want your family to believe after you die and they have no way to verify this stuff.
Okay, so they have no way to verify it?
I'm definitely putting in there that I have another kid because I don't know that my family could technically verify that because we had the estrangement for a period of years.
Okay.
So I don't think they could verify it. And also they would stay on like Ancestry and 23andMe and just like weird shit and they're never going to find it.
Okay. I would put in there that unfortunately I never got to finish my journey in law school. So like as if I already started. And they would have no way to verify because they wouldn't know like who to like what school did I go to? Wow, this is such a good question. Like my poor family would probably be like trying to solve these impossible like lies for the rest of their lives. They would never have any like
answers, right?
Yeah. I'm going to have to think about this and get back to you. And then I'm going to write down some lies that I would put in there.
Okay. Well, I also would do these lies. I would put in there that I like committed a bunch of crimes.
What?
Because they would have no way of verifying it because I never committed the crimes. And also, how are they going to find out?
Like what kind of crimes? Like you robbed a bank?
What if I was like, I went in, robbed a bank, wore a ski mask, smashed the cameras? Like they literally would have no way of proving it. Also, they would have no way of proving if I said I killed someone.
Oh my God.
Like no way of proving anything. And it would just be like a life mind fuck.
Oh my God. I might say that I had an affair with like.
Oh, that's a good one.
I had an affair with
Elon Musk.
Ew.
Nick Cannon.
That would be, people would probably believe that. They'd be like, we don't need to verify this. Kail and Nick Cannon. Right. I had an affair with Tristan Thompson. They would believe that. That's so funny. I'm trying to think like what kind of like I can't really think of any lies, but I want them to be fucking scandalous.
Kristen, what lies would you tell?
I don't know. Oh, you know what I'd be like? So sorry I couldn't give you guys all of my millions of dollars because I donated it to various charities.
No money for you. It's donated.
Sorry.
What if it was in there and it was like I was actually very rich when I passed away, but unfortunately I left none of the money for you. I left you these bills that you need to pay. And these charities are living off of all the money that I had that you're not getting.
Better yet, you can honestly be like, I hid millions of dollars throughout the world.
Please have a fun time trying to find them. I hid millions of dollars in my favorite places on earth.
Goodbye.
And then they'd go to Hawaii and they'd find nothing.
Okay, listen. So speaking of money, we had a question in the Facebook and it says, can we discuss kids and fundraising? I'm all for littles setting goals and achieving them with adult support. It just seems like such a repeated letdown for kids. How do you meet the ridiculous suggested goal when you don't have a village? I push the product list out on social media to the few select friends we have, but man, it's hard. Short of me just buying the stuff, I am at a loss. I need ideas or just words of encouragement. Actually, love this question.
Me too. The schools do a really shitty job picking fundraisers. That's number one. Nobody's interested in the shit that they're fundraising for. So like the last 2 years, all of my kids have brought home the same shit. So then 3 of my school age children are expected to sell the fundraising items when we all have the same people in our circle. So that's number one. Number two, when I've talked to the teachers, specifically, this is like more school fundraising, the teachers barely get a cut of those fundraisers. Yeah. So you're literally better off not doing them and giving the teachers like a $25 gift card.
Okay, well,
directly to the teacher.
I'm going to start with Girl Scouts and cookies, right? I feel like that idea was created to teach a business aspect to kids of like, okay, this is going to be your goal. You're going to set a goal and you're going to, try to sell this and you're going to go door to door and you're going to get people to sign up. You're going to give them the spiel like you're a salesperson. And to me, those types of fundraisers, if the child's out here doing it and like working hard for that, I think that is great to teach them the business aspect of that.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
However,
that makes sense.
When you have parents that are out here posting on the internet and they're doing the work for the kids,
the kids learn nothing.
The kids learn nothing. And then it all just becomes a numbers game. I don't agree with that. Also,
that's a good point.
The fundraisers at the school, if they diversified them a little bit and maybe, gave certain things to certain grades, that would probably eliminate some of the stuff that you're talking about because it would be different items, whatever. Jackson's preschool, church-based, but still did awesome fundraisers. They did this one brand of like these hand-painted ornaments, which were just like so cute. And you got like a list of maybe like 12 or something ornaments that you could choose from. And that did very well. And then they also did a sheet fundraiser. And the sheets were awesome. Like everybody raved about like, when is the fundraiser coming back for the sheet sets? Because those were so
love
great.
that. I fucking love that. I love your point about the Girl Scout thing. I think that's like such a fantastic point. When the parents are doing it for the kids, they learn nothing. Also, like standing outside of Walmart, yes, it's good for numbers, but no, it's not teaching your child like the business of the sales situation.
Yep.
It becomes like more of a contest than a learning, like a lesson. When we did fundraising for football, we did a popcorn fundraiser, which only 50% of what you make goes to the league. And nobody's really interested in popcorn because you can get popcorn anywhere. You can get gourmet popcorn anywhere. When we did a crab raffle, and it was like crab and beer, and we did the crab raffle for football, that one, and yes, it was only local, so we couldn't post it on like the internet or anything. We could only, like, it's pretty much anyone in the league that knows people that would sell the tickets. That one did so well because people want crabs and beer.
Yeah, see, I'm down for stuff like that and usable
practical things that are going to be like, I think that's great. What about, I don't know, like it makes
Speaking of popcorn, Suburban Dad told me one time, I think he said that he paid like $20 or $25 for a bag of white cheddar popcorn.
Yep.
And it's like literal smart food.
Yes.
And to me, I'm like, I love that he did that and he supported like a kid's business, whatever, that fundraiser. But at the same time, it's like not a practical thing that most people are going to buy. And so I like the practical items.
Who has $25 to spend on popcorn? Like, I thought the same thing for my son's fundraiser. I spent $100, $97 on the popcorn. I still met the goal for him. But again, my kids weren't doing the popcorn sales. It was me. And secondly, it was so expensive. Like, let's do practical things like sheets, the ornaments, the cute stuff. Like, that is stuff that people with inflation now, especially, they're not going to have extra money to spend $25 on popcorn.
Yeah. Also, I hate how much like the parents get involved in stuff like this. And I see both sides of it. Like, okay, we have goals, so we want our child to reach the goal, but also what are you teaching them by just doing it? Also, on the side of if they're trying to sell popcorn for $25 a bag, I could see being a parent being like, okay, I'm even embarrassed for you to ask someone to buy a bag of popcorn for $25. So I'll just buy it. I also see that side of it. So that's my spiel on that.
Agreed. I have to admit that I have never composted before. And thankfully I discovered Lomi by Pila because as a family of 5, it's so hard to minimize your waste. And I really I have the eco guilt. So I did start by like upping my recycling, downsizing my trash, but I also wanted to do a little bit more. And so I got a Lomi, and it kind of just allows me to turn my food scraps into dirt with a push of a button. And I love that. So this is a countertop electric composter that turns scraps to dirt in under 4 hours. There's no smell, and it's super quiet. And I love that I can teach my kids how to do this, and it's super simple. So you guys need to check this out.
Kail, you told me about this and I ordered one too and have not opened mine yet, but I am so excited to try it because we all just need to do better. And I think this is just an easy way to be able to do it. And you're going to have way less garbage each week.
Yeah. I definitely learned that food waste makes up a huge portion of our trash. Like I said, especially with kids, picky eaters, things like that. And I host a lot. And so when you throw dinner parties and things like that, the food cleanup, there's so much trash, but now it makes it so much easier. So this Thanksgiving, I'm actually really excited to use it and see how much less trash we have. And people think that I'm like an eco goddess now. So I definitely recommend 10 out of 10.
So if you guys also want to start making a positive environmental impact or just make cleanup after dinner that much easier, Lomi is perfect for you. Head to lomi.com/coffeeconvos and use the promo code coffeeconvos to get $50 off your Lomi. That's $50 off when you head to lomi.com/coffeeconvos and use promo code coffeeconvos at checkout. Food waste is gross. Lomi is your solution. With the holidays just around the corner, Lomi will make the perfect gift for someone on your shopping list. I need to read you this. I found this also on Instagram scrolling. It says, my father once told me, don't fuck over the current person in your life for someone from your past. Your past always pops up when your future looks bright. And that
Ain't
could
that
not
the damn truth?
be more true. Are you eating Chick-fil-A?
No, I'm eating almonds. I'm eating whole, natural, blue diamond almonds.
I love that for you. Is that not so true?
I can't tell you how many times I fucked up something for somebody in my past. Two people specifically. And it never ended well. So yeah, that is so fucking true. And
what's the mindset?
Know. I don't know. It's like they know when to like, and you just love that person so much that you hope that they're going to change this time. And so you're like, okay, I'm going to go back to like my comfort zone, this person I've loved for so long. And they never end up changing. It's like they just know when to fuck it up for you when they know that your future is bright. They know that you're moving on. And they're like, let me pop up and see if I still got it. I'm guilty of doing it too. I've done it to somebody. So one person specifically.
So to me, the problem was with both people in that situation, right?
Yeah.
Because the one person that is, let's say, like in the situation of like they're with someone else and, you know, their ex like may or may not be moving on. They don't want that person to move on. So then they like interject themselves just enough to, you know, like keep them at bay, risking their situation and fucking that up probably too. The whole thing to me is just toxic. And I am a big believer that if it's done, let it be done and let it rest. And I've not always been like that. Not until I went through everything with Will and that after divorce hookup things that we were doing, I realized how toxic that was. And that let me know like, okay, anytime in my future, in my next situations, like I will never do that because it just prolongs the inevitable. Like if it was over enough for you to leave, it's over enough for it to stay over.
When toxic Kail was toxic, I would always just see if I could have the person back. And it worked every single time. And what's fucked up is every single time I didn't actually want him. I just wanted to see if he would still want me. And he did. And then I got my karma big fucking time, tenfold, with the next person. And he always did that to me. And I always fell for it, not realizing that I did it to the person before him. And it sucks. Like, I would never want to do that to someone ever again because it gives them such false hope. And it's so toxic. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. Once it's done, let it be done. Let it fizzle out. Let it, you know, sit in the uncomfortable feelings, sit in the pain that, you know, it's over because that pain will eventually subside. And I never want to be that toxic ever again.
I think a lot of people get in the mindset of, okay, that's what I knew for such a long period of time. And that became my normal and my comfortable. So I need to have like just a little bit of it there so that I can continue moving on, but I like really don't want it. And that is extremely toxic, not great for the healing process. Although I will say, I don't know that I would have done the process with Will any differently than what I did. Because I think it made me grow. And I think that it allowed me to heal and close that chapter.
Oh, I definitely had to go to therapy to stop what I was doing. There was no way.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I had to go to therapy.
What advice did your therapist give you? Just to stop?
Well, she said the same thing that you did because I was constantly blaming other people. And she was like, you have to acknowledge your responsibility in this. You have to acknowledge that you keep going back. I mean, by the time I went to therapy, it was when I was getting my karma, not when I was doing it to the other person. And it just opened my eyes to the fact that I did it and then it was coming back to me tenfold. And that was, I was continuing to go back through all of this toxicity. And at some point, I literally would go to my therapist and be like, I cannot talk about these two people in my therapy sessions anymore because I'm not doing any other work with myself and on myself other than complaining about this fucking love triangle. Like, I cannot do it. And she would hold me to that. And so I would go into the next session and not talk about them. And then the next session would be about and it's just a cycle that I never want to repeat ever again.
Okay. So this leads me to my next point, because I did not know that this was where this was going to go. And you say this about your therapy, but I saw this thread and it starts with why you keep having sex with a toxic ex. And it says, if you're being deprived of all the things a healthy relationship requires, love, consistency, safety, and an authentic connection, of course, the sex would be amazing because you're already starving.
Yes. So that's what my therapist said about the person that I was with. And because I would basically romanticize it in my head and make it sound like it's the best thing ever. And she said, Kail, she's like, it's not the best thing ever. She's like, you're not getting a connection with him anywhere else. So the only place that you feel connected to him is through sex. So you're romanticizing it and fantasizing it and, all of these things. And she was right, because Lindsie, when I tell you that I never told this man no, never once, even if I didn't want to have sex, I never, ever, ever told him no, because to me, that was like, he loved me when he was having sex with me.
You're literally walking us through this thread because the next part says sex is the fastest way to achieve what feels like a connection to another person. So it's the fastest and easiest way to feel something, even if that something is simply just endorphins, oxytocin, a nervous system activation.
Yes, it was horrible. And I remember hating 2 a.m, 3 a.m. Yeah, it's fun in the beginning when you're actually in love with someone. You can't keep your hands off each other. And that's, I think, normal in healthy relationships. But I mean, he would wake me up out of the dead of a sleep. And, I would never turn him down, ever. Never, never.
I do think that there's a big part of that for some people that participate. There's a thrill in that because it's something, but it's a toxic thrill. It's something that you should not be doing, but you're going to do it anyway against better judgment. But this thread says as a child, if you were ever abandoned or rejected by your caregivers, you grow into the adult who never experienced consistency. So if you experience a continuous cycle of wounding and soothing from your parents, this becomes what you subconsciously expect in your adult relationships.
So
in a relationship, you adapt by learning to take what you can get, because in childhood, it was rarely ever about your needs. It was always about someone else's. So in order to maintain the connection and ensure your survival, you had to abandon your needs to cope.
Okay. That makes sense to me. Basically, just make sure that the other person's needs are met and just take what you can get, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was me. That sounds just like me at that time.
Yeah. I'll make sure that we post this because I think it's so spot on. Yeah, I think engaging sexually with an ex that you're no longer willing to emotionally engage with, but you're willing to sexually engage, you shouldn't be giving that part of yourself to someone if you're not willing to give the all parts of yourself that actually really matter.
Yeah. And it's funny that that person recently started to nitpick at me, and Natalie said, Kail, you know what he's trying to do, right? And I'm like, no. And she told me, and she's like, I will kill you. I will kill you. And I was like, I'm not there anymore. Thankfully, the therapy has helped in that situation because I wouldn't go back. But that makes a lot of sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. All right. So Lindsie is actually the one that told me about Faraday and that Jackson is a big fan of this company. So I went ahead and ordered. I got 2 things. I got the kids' Doug Good Feather High Pile Fleece zip jacket in the Rising Sky Turquoise. I got that for Creed. Actually, both items that I got were for Creed. And then I also got the koala baby blanket. Creed is such a, like, he loves to huggle. That's what he calls snuggling. And he loves his blankets. So I got those 2 things to try it out. And I love that when I go on the website, it's like a family brand. They believe in comfort and quality, and it's kind of cool. Like, their whole start is founded by twin brothers, Alex and Mike. They're passionate about their craftsmanship and their sustainability. So I really liked that about the company, and I was really excited to order. And I actually just got an email right now at 10:36, and it says my package was delivered.
I absolutely love that you are on the Faherty train. I love Faherty so much. I was actually shopping there in Nashville the last time that I was there. And I'm telling you, it is true. Every piece that you get from Faherty is going to be a lifetime favorite. And it is also true that their pieces get better with age. I have a little sweatsuit that I got for Christmas last year, and I'm about to whip that bad boy out, and I will be taking a picture and show you guys what it looks like. And this reminds me that I also need to get on their site and like buy more things. And right now, Faherty is giving all of the Coffee Convos listeners an amazing deal. 20% off on every order. And that is such a deal. You guys heard me. You get a full 20% off your order. Head to fahertybrand.com/coffeeconvos and use code coffeeconvos at checkout to get this deal. That's code coffeeconvos at Faherty, FAHERTY brand.com/coffeeconvos for 20% off. fahertybrand.com/coffeeconvos. I'm Lindsay Chrisley. Join me for the Southern Tea. It's a weekly heart-to-heart from this Southern girl and boy mom who's just trying to navigate life. Nothing is off limits. I talk about it all. Life, career, family, motherhood, faith, and everything in between. It's an ongoing conversation, and I can promise you one thing. I'm spilling tea, the whole tea, and nothing but the tea. So listen to and follow the Southern Tea now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Okay, I know that you're going to have a big opinion about this. As a mother, I also have an opinion about it. It's probably not as big as yours. This is from the Facebook group. It says, moms with multiple kids, how do you handle birthday party invites? For instance, if one child gets an invitation from someone in their class, do you automatically take siblings when you go, or do you find childcare to take the one if you can? I've always felt like it would be rude to show up with 3 extra kids. I also don't feel comfortable asking if they can all come over. However, I also feel guilty because a lot of times I can't find someone to watch the other kids, so I can't take the one that got invited. My kids love birthday parties. They are devastated when they miss out. I've asked other moms in my area what they would do, and their answers are mixed. How do you handle it?
Okay, so I also saw this in the Facebook group, and I actually I wouldn't take my kids to the birthday parties for a long time because I felt like I just feel bad asking, Natalie or someone to help me with the other kids while I take one to a birthday party. I would only take my kids to birthday parties where it was like their family. So all of my kids got invited. I wouldn't take like Lux to a classmate's birthday party. Now I will find, I'll ask Natalie, can you watch the other kids? Or ask the dads, can they watch the other kids? I don't think it would be wrong. Like if I was Lincoln's birthday is coming up, for example, say I was having a party for him, which I'm not this year. Say someone messaged me and said, hey, I would love to, bring so-and-so to the party. I do have my other 3 kids with me. I'll pay for them if it's okay if they come. That would not be rude to me.
See, I don't think that's rude either.
Because they're going to pay the admission for their other 3 kids, and then the one that was invited would get free for the party. That wouldn't bother me at all.
In my opinion, I think the best policy of how to handle this is if you have a child because a lot of people during COVID in this area, I don't know if it was everywhere, but a lot of people moved to drop-off parties, like where you drop off because it limited the amount of people involved.
Mm-hmm.
I would only ever do that if I was like legitimate friends with the parent of that child to drop off. Mm-hmm. Like I'm never dropping off at a party and getting a call like, okay, now you can come and pick your kid up. Like, I'm just not doing that. Also, I don't believe in going to birthday parties just because someone's a classmate. Like, if you're going to celebrate a birthday and you're taking time out of your weekend away from your family, whatever, then that person like needs to be an actual friend, not just a classmate.
Right.
So there's that. And also, I think that you should always ask someone if you're bringing other people to a party, because this party host is preparing food, needs a head count, like all of this. It is super rude if you show up with 3 additional people outside of the child who was invited.
Like, for example, because Jackson and Lincoln are the same age, if you invited me, say we weren't friends, like actual friends, and I was RSVPing, I would say like, hey, Lindsie, I'm RSVPing Lincoln to Jackson's party. I will have my 3 other kids, but I'm going to pay admission. Like, would you be fine with that?
Yeah, but I wouldn't take your money. I'm not saying it would be wrong to take your money. I just wouldn't. But also I would so appreciate the heads up of like, hey, because to be able to have a head count, like I'm big on RSVP too. I think it's so rude for people who don't RSVP. Like, I think we live in a society that breeds this culture of, I'm going to either not RSVP because something better might come up and I don't want to be confirmed for this, or I'm going to wait until the last minute to make sure nothing better comes up, and then I'll commit to this if like nothing better comes up. And I hate that. I'm big on that with Jackson. I'm like, you make commitments and you stick to those commitments, and you RSVP to parties. You like, all of that is important.
It's actually really important. I have dropped the ball sometimes. Just, there was a birthday party, got the invite. I didn't RSVP, and then I completely forgot about the party.
Oh my God.
But I didn't RSVP, but also I should have RSVP'd no. Cause I hate the follow up. Like, it sucks when you have to constantly follow up, cause that does suck too. But I agree with you. I completely agree with you. And I hate when I do that, but sometimes I do get, sidetracked. So my friend on the football team, she just had a joint birthday party for 2 of her kids. And I told her, at first I was like, hey, we'll be there. And then I realized, Chris and Javi would have the kids. So I let her know before. I said, hey, unfortunately I have to un-RSVP basically, but here's the gifts that I got for them. And I still gave them gifts or whatever. And she was so thankful that I let her know that, it was still ahead of time that we had to change our RSVP.
Last thing I'm going to say on RSVPs, and I want to know if everybody else is like this. If you don't RSVP, my automatic assumption is that you're not coming.
Not coming. Yes.
Good. We can poll that on Instagram. Okay. We don't have time to do the other question that I really wanted to get to, but it's okay. We can save it for next week. And for those of you who did not hear us talk about this already, the true crime episode we're covering for November is going to be covering The Watcher. And so I'm really excited about this one because I think that there is so much to cover from both sides, like the actual story and then what was covered on Netflix. And I can't wait to get into the debate of who we all think it is. I just think it's going to be so good. So I'm excited about that. And on that note, we are going to do foul play.
Okay. The first foul play. When my fiance and I bought our current house, we spent months fixing it up before we moved in because the inside was in pretty bad shape. Once we had lived in the house for about 2 months, we were still noticing a faint, weird smell. We could not figure out the smell. Could it be since we painted every wall, the ceilings, replaced carpets, etc.? One weekend, we were going through some boxes and we hadn't gone through yet. My fiance opened up a box and he about passed out. That was the smell. My fiance hunts, and this box was full of all of his hunting clothes. He figured it was what was lingering from when he had killed a deer the previous season.
Aww.
Ugh. I was disgusted. He spent all weekend washing the clothes, trying to get the smell out. If it were my clothes, I would have burnt them. After multiple washes, the smell was still in the air. He had a backpack that had been stuffed in the box with his clothes, but he had been certain it was the clothes that had the smell. he started cleaning out the backpack so he could wash it too, and found a bag inside of the backpack with something black and mushy in it seeping out. It was his lunch from over a year ago that he forgot about. Well, I thought it was going to be a dead animal. So we are still trying to guess what kind of sandwich he had packed for lunch that day that would turn black and mushy. Well, probably anything. I'm just so fucking glad that it was not like a dead animal, like a squirrel or something.
I thought that's what it was going to be. I was like, this is going to be a rodent of some sort. Like it's going to be
he shot or something.
Yes, like that's literally where my mind was going with that. Also, I think this is a super man thing to do. At what point of their lives do they not think to like clean out backpacks, any bags that they pack, really? Like that they just think the stuff just like disappears and goes away. In this man's case, he had it all boxed up with his sandwich in there as if he was going to eat it later, because that's probably what was going through his mind.
Disgusting.
Not okay. Okay, so the second foul play says, please keep me anonymous because fuck my life. And also, I love you guys. Okay, this is so embarrassing. But after I had my first baby, I was so constipated. Sister, weren't we all? I lied at the hospital. This is my story, not hers. I lied at the hospital, told them that I shit because I heard a rumor that until you shit, you wouldn't be allowed to leave the hospital. And I was like, it'll be fine. Like I'll blow a turd like at some point. So this is like not even a bad lie. Okay. So she says, I was probably a week postpartum and no poop. I was taking all the laxatives, drinking a ton of water and nothing. Finally, I could feel the poop ready to come out, literally right at my butthole. But I couldn't push it since I had just had the baby. Google told me to get an enema. First of all, using Google, bad idea. So I screamed for my husband to run to the store to get me an enema. I've never had to do an enema before. So mistake number one, I laid on the bed, holy shit, with a towel under me. And luckily I was already washing the sheets that day. And I'm glad for you. Mistake number two, I had him squirt it up my butt.
No.
While he was holding our newborn.
No.
Stitches and all still in there.
Mm-mm.
Within seconds, I started screaming for him to get out, and I had the most massive hard poop of my life. Didn't we all? Because it came out like a fucking brick. Luckily, the mattress was not affected during the chaos, but we still joke about it to this day and just had our second baby, and luckily no enema story from our newest edition. Just saying, it's true love when your partner is willing to give you an enema and watch you shit on y'all's bed. First of all,
I was not postpartum when I did an enema because I hadn't shit in weeks and Kristen was there.
Did Kristen put it in?
No, Kristen was probably mortified in the room. Like I was like, I will do anything to poop right now. Like, when you're so bloated and uncomfortable. And then I was like thinking about going home and doing anal because I would be like all flushed out, but it didn't really flush me out like the way that I.
Oh my God, nobody has to take a shit and then goes home and does anal. So then you can shit on their dick.
No, what I was saying was I thought it was going to clear me out so well that I thought I could go home and do anal. And then I didn't.
First of all, no man is coming near my butthole. Second of all, I'm certainly not laying on the bed letting him do an enema.
I didn't do my enema in the bed. I did it in the bathroom.
Does it actually work?
I was new to it, not true to it. So it didn't work as I probably would have. I just probably didn't do it all the way correctly because I was very nervous. But I think they do work because I hear like people talk about it before anal and stuff.
That's a whole nother conversation. I will say any person that is listening to this that has ever had a baby, the first time you take a shit after you have a kid is probably worse than the actual birthing process of having the kid.
Yeah.
It comes out like a brick. It hurts so bad. Like it turns your butthole inside out.
Wait, did they give you like, I don't remember for any of my births. Maybe for my home birth, do they not give us stool softener right after we deliver?
Yeah, but it didn't soften. I don't think it softens for a lot of people.
Yeah, I remember it hurting. I don't remember.
When I tell you, Kail, mine was like a week later and I straight up lied at the hospital. I was like, yeah, I took a shit. I had shit. Yeah. Where's my discharge papers?
I wonder if they do that because you might bust a stitch if you poop. Like, that's probably why.
I don't know why they do it specifically, but I would highly recommend not lying about it for the future. And I won't lie about it again because I felt like I was giving birth for a second time. And I kind of feel bad for Will Campbell and what he probably had to hear in that moment. So
sorry, Will Campbell.
Sorry, Will. Mad respect to you. If you guys have not followed us on @CoffeeConvos Podcast on Instagram, make sure you follow us over there and make sure you subscribe to our show from any podcast app. Always first on Podcast One. We hope that you guys have a great week and we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.